Hi there again. Well, we thought it would be a good idea if we could let you know some of the books that I've been reading, which I've have had over the last few years, and which I kind of refer to, because a lot of the material that I've given you has in fact come from a lot of different books, apart from obviously the experiences that I've had, which I've tried to explain. So I'm going to give you the names of a few books, and then if you just want to read some of them, you will be able to find them on my blog, which I will talk about a little bit later. Okay? So the first book I'm going to show you is this beautiful book called The Universe Story. The Universe Story, which is by Brian Swimme, who was a scientist, and Thomas Berry, who in fact, he was really a mystic. He was a Catholic priest, but it was one of the most beautifully written books that I've read, and I just keep a copy with me all the time. And I just want to read you a part from this book, okay? Humans tonight will watch the Milky Way galaxy not only with eyes, but also with radio telescopes, satellites, and computer-guided optical telescopes, with minds trained by the intricate theories of the composition, structure, and evolution of matter. Though we wait as faithfully as the ancient Inuit who stared eye to eye with a blue-black whale, we will not see a galactic eye blinking back at us. Though we may be as dedicated to the wild spirit of the night sky, no eye of the universe will appear from behind a cloud. Nor do we need such an experience to realize that what that ancient hunter came to realize. For after such long centuries of inquiry, we find that the universe developed over 15 billion years, and that the eye that searches the Milky Way galaxy is itself an eye shaped by the Milky Way. The mind that searches for contact with the Milky Way is the very mind of the Milky Way galaxy in search of its inner depths. So that's a quote from this book, The Universe Story. Now, one of the other books was also written particularly by Thomas Berry, The Dream of the Earth. A beautiful list of actually probably lectures that he gave, and I find it's just beautifully written, and something you should try and get hold of, this book, The Dream of the Earth by Thomas Berry. A little section from it. It's all a question of story. We are in trouble just now because we do not have a good story. We are in between stories. The old story, the account of how the world came to be and how we fit into it, is no longer effective. Yet we have not learned a new story. Our traditional story of the universe sustained us for a long period of time. It shaped our emotional attitudes, provided us with life purposes, and energized action. It consecrated suffering and integrated novel. We awoke in the morning and knew where we were. We could answer the questions of our children. We could identify crime and punish transgressors. But presently, this traditional story is dysfunctional in its largest social dimensions, even though some believe it firmly and act according to its guidance. Even with an advanced science and technology, with superb techniques in manufacturing and commerce, in communications and computation, our secular society remains without satisfactory meaning or the social discipline needed for a life leading to emotional, aesthetic, and spiritual fulfillment. It is all a question of story. A really, really good book. Right. And this final one then is a book I read about 5-6 years ago, and it's called Living as God. I notice the title is Living as God, not living with God or for God. I have some difficulties with the word God because it's got such a varied amount of meanings, and a lot is done in that name. But I would just like to call it whatever you want to call God, source or universal consciousness. But I think the point the author is making here is that, in fact, so just to use his terminology, we are God. We have the fullness of God, the fullness of universal consciousness. We are God. And that may surprise you when I say that, but we are God. And it says here, you are God. This is the obvious truth we do not hear, clearly expressed and demonstrated by masters we have ignored. God, being love, extends itself naturally to create all that is. So these are just 3 or 4 books that I've read, which I hope you will be able to get hold of and read. But you'll be able to get the bibliography on my blog site. I have a blog site called The New Creation Story .blogspot.co.uk. And in there, if you read it, after you read the first page on the right hand side, it gives you a guide. It's one of the headings, one of the pages is a guide. Go into the guide and you will find all the things, or some of the things, that I have been speaking about in these last videos. So it's a New Creation Story .blogspot.co.uk. Thank you. Thank you very much.